is wow. Chelsea pull out. Have they really pulled out? Is that confirmed? I'm just going to get some confirmation here now. I'm not disbelieving you all. I'm sure that's massive, massive news if true. Wow, Chelsea are leaving. Chelsea are preparing a document to request a withdrawal. That is Chelsea Football Club out. Wow, that is huge, huge news as it stands right now. Wow, Chelsea leave. Chelsea leave. That is big news. Well done to these protesters for helping to get that done. That is massive. Just bear with me 1 second here. I need to update my title. Chelsea leave the Super League. Look at that. The space of a day. It's falling apart already. It's absolutely falling to bits, this Super League, before it even gets going. Before it even gets going. Let's update this title right now. Sorry, we need to get the title updated, thumbnail updated. This is what happens when you're live on your own, ladies and gentlemen. But smash that like button for us. Chelsea leave the Super League. Let me repeat that. Chelsea leave the Super League. These protests have been going on. These protests have helped. These protests have stopped Chelsea Football Club pursuing this dream. Chelsea pull out. Massive, massive news. That is huge. That is huge. That has come from the BBC. That has come from the BBC. Well done to Chelsea Football Club. Well done to you for pulling out. Well done to you for pulling out. Well done, you. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely phenomenal, Chelsea Football Club. Phenomenal. Be proud of yourselves. Be absolutely proud of yourselves tonight for getting yourselves out of it. Well done, you. It's now just down to the other 5 fan bases to come together and to unite, for fan channels, for fanzines, for everyone to come out and push. Because you know what they're pulling out? If they're pulling out, that tells you that they know this isn't about saving football. You know, I said about waiting to see the wood for the trees. If they're pulling out, they know. If Chelsea Football Club thought this was the best thing for them in football, they could come out and address it, couldn't they? But they can't. But they can't because they know it is done. Wow, Chelsea pull out. Chelsea pull out. I've got KJ here with me. KJ, bro, what's your reaction to that news, mate?
I wasn't expecting to be this quick. Someone decided to pull out. Or let's say is requesting to withdraw. They haven't officially left. It's a request to withdraw, but the intent is there, which is what we want to see. This is good news. This is good news. We love to see it. I know that these protests have come under some scrutiny in terms of the the cause. This is the kind of cause that you protest for, but other causes you won't. But we'll leave that for another day. And just say, you know what, yeah, we can actually do something. We can actually do something.
No, mate, listen, I hear you on that point there. I hear you on that point there. And I think that's a conversation that needs to be had. Maybe this is a wake-up call for people to actually stand up and do things that matter now in this world. I think it is. I think it should be something that we speak about. But in terms of on the football respect, I mean, it's as we can see, the scenes outside Stamford Bridge, the protests have been going on. They've been fighting hard today, these fans, to get this sort of stuff done. But it's honourable for them because they're the first group that have managed to get their club to, pull away like this. Do you expect to see more? In your view now, do you think more clubs are going to pull away?
I can see Man City definitely going as well, because again, they don't need to be in this league, and there's already rumours of them wanting to pull out. And then the other team I can see is Liverpool. I can see Liverpool also potentially going due to Klopp coming out, James Milner, and then the Liverpool fan base. You know their next home game, if they were still there and they were still in it, they will be out in force. So I think those two are the next 2 teams to pull out. A part of me feels like, though, that at the end of the day, they're still going to get what they want. They're still going to get what they want.
So it's interesting you say that, KJ. So I had a conversation today with a friend of mine at one of the largest private banks and investment banks in the world. and a number of organizations have approached UEFA about a similar financial mechanism that could enable them to start paying exorbitant amounts of money more to Champions League participants. So it's almost like this has I still think you're going to see a large increase in money coming towards these football clubs. That's what they've been after this whole time as it stands. But I think with Chelsea pulling out, we reported this morning, I got called a liar for this morning. Very good information that we had this morning, that Chelsea and Manchester City were starting to get cold feet and they were feeling nervous about it. They felt they were forced into this decision. They have now pulled out partly on the back of these protests, as it were, but they're gone now. And I think this is where you're going to see. This is where you're really going to see what these owners are made of now. And what I hope is that they all start to get cold feet. They all look to pull away. They all look to leave this Super League, because if City pull away and Chelsea pull away, I think it answers that question that we've been mulling over for a number of days now. Is this really about saving football and making football more competitive, or is it about money? Most people thought it was about making money. Chelsea and City pulling out, maybe Tottenham pulling out and Arsenal pulling out. It's going to tell you all it is to know. None of them have even addressed their fans with any kind of explanation. They've gone, do you know what? It's not worth it. We're just going to walk away. So it could give us all the answers we were looking for.
Potentially, yes. But what we need to realize as fan base, we can't stop here as fan bases. We can't stop here as fans. We can't just say accept this as the pinnacle of success. Football needs fixing. It needs reform. It needs change. And if the fans stop here, when clubs make a mistake in the first place and they're just happy with the apology and the pulling out, and we stop, nothing will ever change, because they'll just end up making another foolish mistake or another greedy decision. And then we'll be the same process again and again and again. We need change in football. We need to change the structure, the way it's formatted, the way that they run, the federations run the whole sport. It needs change. And if this is the catalyst for the change that we need, then I'll be happy, because this is what we need. And whatever it takes to get that change, it is the best thing.
I agree. Tahir here says, whatever happens, they will forever know as the greedy six, shameful, hold their heads in shame, the shame walk, unforgivable, unforgettable. And I understand that notion, but I think what you've pulled on there, thank you Tahir for that super chat, means a great deal to us. I think what you've pulled on there is important for fans to think about and to remember that reform is needed in all avenues. And listen, as we've said before, the TV companies need to look at themselves. DT came on yesterday and spoke about it very candidly. There are times when Arsenal fans, from his point of view, they'll book hotels and travel for a Sunday, and then last minute the TV companies change the game to a Monday, and they have to then pay for different train tickets or pay to have hotel rooms changed. Something's got to be done to put the fans at the forefront, make things as cheap and as accessible for match-going fans as possible. It needs to happen. And the way UEFA, the FA, and all these organizations are run, there has to be an addressing of the corruption within them. And on top of that, they need to start looking at the fact that this is called a uproar. And I understand why. But there are other elements and problems within our game. Sexism, racism, all manner of bigotry that goes on, the corruption that we've already mentioned, backhanders. All of this needs to be addressed now. All of this needs to be addressed by the powers that be. If they don't, and it just goes back to normal, we are going to be back here again. Fans outside stadiums protesting. But we do need more of this, as you say. There's another super chat here says, one heart, one passion. We won't let this happen. Another super chat here from Samuel, who says, Terry, this Friday I will be heading to the Emirates protest at 6 p.m. to block the Gams against Everton. I blocked the game. I don't know what that means. Gates. I don't know what I think it might mean. Gates. I'm not too sure. Against Everton. Arsenal fans, join us, is what's being said there by Samuel. We have another super chat. We are going to open up the lines for you to call into. Man like Slens says, is there any chance that the Super League doesn't need Chelsea or City the same way they didn't need Bayern or PSG? I think that's such a fair question. The answer is we don't know. We don't know if they need it or they don't need it. But I think this is it's a big sign. It's going to be a difficult one. I think they need as much support as possible, because if they suddenly go from 12 to 10 teams, and then maybe a Tottenham pulls out, maybe an Arsenal pulls out, and it's 10 teams, suddenly it makes it easier for the Premier League to kick out the other sides, because the Premier League would fall apart. The Premier League would fall apart, in my opinion, if all 6 left. But if Man United and Liverpool leave, the Premier League will survive. The Premier League will survive because you've still got some big hitters in there and some big. It would just kill the clubs, and they won't take the risk. This is going to become a power battle, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, no, it really will. And if that were to happen, if the more teams leave and you're left with 2 teams that are forthright and they're just still like, yes, we still want to go through this, we're not changing. If they get kicked out, life goes on. You know what I mean? Like, things move on, and it's not as big as it would be without it. Because Man City, they will still be doing things for their community. They will still be getting the money they need to filter into their community. Everton can pick up the slack in Liverpool, because they will get more money from the Premier League as well, because again, the 2 big teams are gone. So the Premier League can survive, but I don't want Manchester United, I don't want Liverpool to go through with this. I want them to pull out and continue to challenge UEFA. Continue to challenge UEFA, but from a standpoint of, this is what the fans, the players, the coaches, the sport need to change. Not because it's all about money. Will that happen though? With the owners that, especially Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, will that happen? I'm not too sure. But this is, again, as I said before, this is a good first step, but we cannot stop here. And I see a lot of people praising Chelsea. Cool, isn't it? That's nice. I know it's your club, but that's not enough. This isn't a triumphant moment. It is for the fans, maybe, because we've. Well, I think it's but in terms of the overall, there's still a bit more.
No, okay, There's loads more to fix in football. What I will say is this, though. This decision has been made by a minuscule percentage, a powerful percentage, but a minuscule percentage of these football clubs. I'm not even sure if the likes of Petr, like the way you see Petr Cech talking, I've seen the video. Yeah. It's almost like he feels embarrassed by it. Fergie knew nothing about it at Manchester United, as an example. The Kenny Dalglishs of this world knew nothing about it at Liverpool Football Club. And I've seen this myself in my own profession, and my previous profession in banking, where very powerful but low numbers of people in certain positions are able to tarnish the reputations of an entire industry or of an entire organization. I think that's kind of happened to these football clubs. And for me, the fans are the football club. The fans are the football club. And the fans have spoken. Chelsea Football Club are getting what they want. Chelsea Football Club are getting what they deserve out. The fans are getting the right decision here. So the fans can feel proud because the right decision has been made. The owner or the decision maker that's done it, they should feel the shame. You know, it's a bit like when Liverpool decided to furlough in the summer and then pulled out of it. It's not Liverpool fans' fault that their club made that decision, you know. And I think we need to be mindful. We're going to open up the lines for you to all come on and have your say. You know that we're the originals when it comes to fan phone-ins. Big up to everyone. I'm so happy that my club pulled out. Come on, you Blues. Sam says Chelsea shouldn't be treated as heroes. They still joined in the first place. Punishments should still be given out. I understand your frustration there. The fans shouldn't be punished. One of the biggest noises I've heard in all of this is fans should come first. If you now turn around and deduct 20 points off Chelsea and kick them out of the Champions League, you're punishing the fans. It becomes a catch-22, but the fans are who we're fighting for here. We can't then go and punish them in the same breath. For me, I don't think a punishment will happen, but I understand people's frustrations on this one here. I'm going to share the link for you to call in. Make sure you're subscribing to the Football Terrace, and also make sure you follow our Discord server as well. For all the latest news on anything in regard to this, get across now to the Give Me Sport website, the best place for football fan content. There's some real serious stuff. There's also some funny stuff over there as well if you fancy a laugh. Aiden here says, I hope Arsenal pull out, and Arsenal fans need to stand up against this greed. Listen, I hope for you they pull out as well. I really, really do. As we've said already, Chelsea fans outside protesting. against Stamford Bridge, singing their hearts out, demanding their team be dropped. Drop this in their eyes lunacy, this greed. Banners, signs, few bevies on the go as well. Few bevies on the go. Everyone's singing their songs, and it looks like Chelsea have done the business there today. They really have. Another super chat here from Alex says Chelsea should be praised. Of course, Chelsea should be praised. Of course, they should. They never wanted to join. And go on, mate.
They still did though. So I think you should praise Chelsea fans. Praise to the Chelsea fans who have gone out there and say well done to Chelsea for pulling out of a mistake that you've fallen into. But when I say praise, like no, like they're just going back on the mistake they made. For me personally, I don't care if they never wanted to join it. They still did. You know what I mean? So you can miss me with that.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of, I would just phrase it as this, and I think the words that are used in this are very, very important. I wouldn't praise the Chelsea board. I would say, well, sort of, thank God you've come to your senses. Who I would praise is the manager, the players that have put pressure. You know the managers have put pressure. You know the players have put pressure. We've heard that about all football clubs today. That's who deserves the praise here in my... Wow, City have left as well. Manchester City have now left as well.
That's are being looking forward to.
Man City have left as well. Is that the case?
Yeah, here we go. So Manchester City pulling out of the Super League. City have told organisers they no longer want to be part of the 4.6 billion scheme. Full details coming soon from Martin Lipton.
Wow, they have pulled out. So the two that we predicted this morning would pull out or were going to pull out have. Man City have pulled out as well. As you said, big protest going on outside Stamford Bridge tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to keep bringing you all the latest as it stands right now. We are going to go to your calls. Make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you're hitting the share button with us. We are live here at the Football Terrace, bringing you all the latest updates that are going on. Chelsea have left. City have left as well. We want your reactions. Send in your super chats now. Football died for me already. 21 years old. 21-year-old racism. Listen, I can't. I think I know what you're pulling on there. And listen, that's something the football has got to come out and address 110%. Maria here says this has brought to the forefront how greedy and corrupt football has become, and something has to change. Do you know what, Maria? Do you know what I'll say on top of that? Do you know what it also tells me? It tells me unequivocally that the people at the top are so out of touch with the fans. They have no idea what we want. They hear, the fans are a little bit bored of watching Chelsea Dynamo Zagreb in the group changes. I know what we'll do. No. Nobody wanted it to be like this, I don't believe. And the fact they're pulling out tells you, we were speaking in the last few days, maybe there's going to be some jeopardy added. Maybe there'll be incentive for others. Maybe the competitive nature won't go. None of that. They know what they've done now. And I think Chelsea and City pulling out within 48 hours tells you everything you need, everything that you need to know about this situation. It truly does. We're going to update the titles very, very soon on here. Go to some calls in a few moments as well. So many comments coming through. It needs to happen at Anfield, Old Trafford and other stadiums. And guys, the fight doesn't stop even if we are out of this. Continue. 110%. We need a 50+1 rule, I believe. I think that is definitely needed. Man like Josh King, now the rest of the top six will scramble to not be last. It's over. This isn't going through, and nobody wants to be the last English club left in it.
There will be one. Man United will fight this as hard. Those glazers, those pagans will fight this as long as possible. They'll hold on as long as possible until the last moment to let go. They will. And you'll hear me say the same thing. I won't be praising Man United for leaving. I won't be praising Liverpool. I won't be praising anyone. I'll be like, okay, cool. You've come to your senses. Now we move on and reform the whole football structure. You know what I'm saying?
No, I hear you on that. It's not a good look for any of them. It really, really isn't. So I'm just updating titles here as we go along. Yeah. I know we've got more super chats to do. We are going to go to your calls. I know many of you are waiting. Make sure, let's get this past 1,000 likes, please, ladies and gentlemen. Artem here says, thank God Abramovich came to his senses. I don't think the owners realized the backlash they were going to get. thank you to our fan base for putting pressure on them. Absolutely. The fan bases have done an amazing job in the last few hours. We're going to go to some calls now. Again, we will keep bringing you as much footage as we possibly can from these protests and things that are going on. But we're going to go to some calls now. We want to know what people are thinking, what people are feeling, what people are saying about this latest updates that have come through to us as it stands right now.
Terry, there's one more. Apparently, Barcelona will not join the Super League until they've had a vote.
Wow. There we go. It's all falling apart now. It's all falling apart now. All falling apart now. All falling apart now. And a lot of us thought that it would. A lot of us thought that it would fall apart as soon as one club leaves, as soon as the pressure mounts. Yeah, it's peak for them now. They're done. They're absolutely done.
It's very, very peak.
They are absolutely done. Sorry, I'm just trying to update. Let's go to calls. Can we speak to some people while we update this? We're going to get Igal on the show with us now. Igal, give me your reaction to Man City and Chelsea leaving the Super League.
Yesterday, the man, Florentino Perez, said anyone who leaves will basically be liquidated because they've already signed a contract. I don't know what's going on. I have to see it to believe it. As of right now, after hearing everything I've heard yesterday, I feel like this is just a ploy to get rid of the protesters, to make everyone calm down, and to make sure no one interferes with the games throughout the weekend. This is just, I feel like this is a ploy. I don't believe that these guys are going to sign a contract on Saturday, present this to the world, and in a couple of days' time, just say, hey, we're going to prepare a proposal. I'm sorry to be the Debbie of Down News, but
no. Listen, I think we're not allowed that opinion. When it comes to Perez and his comments about this contract, let me just say this now. It's an opinion. The contract isn't binding. The contract is, they did not sign a legally binding contract. They signed a letter of intent to join. And even if they believe that's binding, the Premier League clubs can't join without the Premier League's permission. And the Premier League hasn't given their permission to join. So there's a get out there and then. This isn't so much Chelsea have just said, oh, we're not going to join after signing a contract. This is how we worded to them. Well, the Premier League said we can't join, and we've made no promises to you that we would quit the Premier League. This can happen. So what you're saying, Igal, let me get this right. You think that City and Chelsea are still going to join it?
I think City and Chelsea, if this still goes on and the league goes on, City and Chelsea are right now requesting to leave. But if it continues, they will be silly to not go back and join it. I think at the end of the day, this league might still happen. And if it does happen, City and Chelsea will be part of it.
Mate, we'll see what happens. I was talking to my dad earlier. He's been around a long, long time, my old man, and he basically said that something like this will happen, but it will be under the tutelage and ownership of, in his opinion, of UEFA. It won't be in this way they've, with the GoDaddy website they created the other day. We're going to throw some more callers in now to have their say. We're going to go to man like Pav, first of all. Pav, what are you saying about this breaking news? City and Chelsea leave the European Super League. Give me your thoughts.
First of all, I'm proud of these Chelsea fans, these City fans, every fan that's been protesting yesterday, today, earlier on. People said the fans couldn't do nothing about it. When people unite as one, there's no stopping it. Like, Chelsea have come out, they know it's in the wrong. Roman's come out with a statement saying that he couldn't continue with this, so they're writing up documentation to leave. Like you said, I don't think there's an actual binding contract. I don't think these organisations can sue the football clubs, because I don't think there's in a short amount of time there's anything in place. What are you going to sue them? Like, who's the governing body? There is no governing body. It's banks and it's organisations pumping this money. Like, how are you going to sue these football clubs?
Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid are now leaving also.
Yeah, so like I said, there's a domino effect.
Sorry to interject. Let me just say that if Atletico have left, Barca have left, it's
Inter
over.
apparently are leaving as well.
It's done. It's finished. Just let me say that now. The Super League is dead. It's done. Everyone, it's going to be a house of cards now.
That's half of the teams.
It's half the it can't work if there ain't no Super League. Like,
it won't happen.
What will happen?
It won't happen. But what they're going to do now is they're going to use this whole situation as leverage to try to still get what they want.
Yeah, no, we know this. Yeah, we know.
We've been saying that all along. This is go back to the first stream after the Man United game. What did I say? Power play. This is not. I still had this feeling it wasn't going to happen. It's crumbling apart though, but it's crumbling apart because nobody has bought into it. Nobody has sat there and gone unequivocally, this is the best thing I've ever seen happen to football. It's had the biggest universal backlash that I have ever seen. Someone said it earlier, and it might have been Gary Neville yesterday. It's made Jeremy Corbyn and Boris Johnson agree on something. People realize how colossal that is. Pav, thank you for coming up, mate.
Can I just mention one thing quickly before I go?
Go on, mate.
You know these American owners, right? There's no chance in hell that they'll ever be able to sit in a stadium with fans again because these fans won't allow it. They've literally banished themselves from ever being in a stadium. Like, you'll never see Ed Woodward in a stadium because this guy, the fans will not tolerate it. He'll be driven out of the stadium. Same with Liverpool owners. The same with Arsenal, Tottenham. They'll never be able to ever step foot in a stadium with fans again. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you for having me on, man.
What an emotional 48 hours as a fan, man. This is ridiculous.
All right. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Low key. I've been enjoying the drama. The press conferences. I've never been so interested in what Terrace has to say ever in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've never been interested. I've never been interested in what the UEFA guys have said. Whatever the FIFA guys, I've never been so interested in my life about it, and it's all mad. So low key, I've been enjoying like Pet's performance today, 10 out of 10. That press conference, beautiful. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, big up to everyone who's stood up against these pagans, bruv. I hope they get ran out of all their clubs, and we never see their face in football ever again.
Absolutely. We're going to go to some calls. We're going to do these last two super chats, and then we're going to go to some calls at the bridge since 5:30. Going back now, I'm at uni in Wembley, so it's half an hour on the train. This shows the power of fans. If the news is true, it does show the power of fans, and there are people outside Stamford Bridge right now still protesting, still making sure that that their voices are being heard. And I think big reforms going to happen after this. There is absolutely no shadow of a doubt in my mind whatsoever. Sorry, this super chat says Keir Sharma is pushing the government to end the Super League and enforce the German-style 50+1 rule. Do you know what I would love to see happen out of this? And let me just 1 second. I need to just write something down.
The new super chat here while you're waiting.
Tweet Arsenal are controlling players. I haven't. So I will go check that tweet out in a few moments' time. What I think could end up happening here, and I mean this wholeheartedly, is this could backfire against the Cronkies, FSG, and the Glazers hugely, because the Super League may not happen. Fans are going to detest them even more. I think it has opened up everybody's eyes to what these three specifically care about, and it's money, and it isn't the football clubs that they run. If they happen to develop a really good football team like FSG did, great, but in the cold hard light of day, they care about making money. If this 50+1 rule comes in, if other restrictions are put on football like salary caps, etc., it will force these people out. It will devalue the product that they have in the short term. So they're not even going to get to sell it for as much money as I know the Glazers were offered only a year or so ago by a number of consortiums. This could, in fact, give Manchester United and Arsenal and now Liverpool fans exactly what they wanted in the first place. But there's just been a bit of a painful direction over the last 48 hours to kind of get there. But isn't it mad that the outrage we've seen towards this is what many of us have been talking about at Manchester United towards the Glazers for 15 years, but we just couldn't muster enough attention from the media outlets. You had people like Gary Lineker defending the Glazers on a regular basis, rival fans saying, but you spend money. And we were telling everybody from day one, the same as many of the Arsenal fans about their owners and many of the Liverpool fans, even when Liverpool were winning, we had people coming on this still criticising FSG. And everyone, you're just moaning, you're being spoiled, you've got decent owners. And I think now people have really seen the true colours of these individuals. So this could have deep and long-lasting ramifications for the clubs like Man United
Madrid.
that could see the fans gain a lot more control and a lot more power moving forward.
I just shared Aubameyang's post.
Sorry, Tiaz, I want to jump into the calls now. We want to really hear what the fans have got to say. Viewers, hit those like buttons for us right about now. Just under 1,000 likes. Let's get it right over that mark right about now, please. We're going to go to next caller we're getting on. We're going to throw a man like Neeks in. Neeks, give me your reaction to this staggering news this afternoon.
Listen, it ain't done because this is all just reports. You know, Perez came out yesterday saying basically these men have signed on blood. They can't go nowhere. Now we know Perez lied in that interview anyway, because he also said we didn't invite PSG and Bayern Munich, and we've seen official documentation that says that they have been invited. So we can't trust what he's saying anyway. We can't trust a lot of people involved in this on both sides of the coin. But if these things do fall out, if these teams do fall out and the whole thing falls flat, it shows the power that the fans, whether they be in the media, whether they be in the politics, whether they just be the normal working class man out on the road,
or even the players,
all the players, the managers, whatever it be, it shows the power that we actually have, that these owners think they have when they think, oh, we can take this game away from the fans because we don't need them. We hold the power. But what we need to make sure is that if this whole Super League thing is disbanded, we don't stop here. We don't think, oh, all is well and good. Let's go back to how things were. Things have been bad in football for a very long time. Football has been taken away from the fans for a very, very long time. Away fans can't afford to get to games. When a team gets to a Champions League final, how many fans are actually in there that support the teams? How many tickets are given to corporate seats as opposed to the fans? Can fans even afford to get to a Champions League final? We need to make sure that we continue on this. All we're seeing on social media, we have to make sure we go to the likes of Sky, BT, UEFA, FIFA, the Premier League, who are trying to stand on the side of morality in this and say, why are we having to pay the same clubs, the same 14 clubs who are left in the Premier League, saying that XYZ should be punished and should be deducted points? How come I have to pay so much to watch a Premier League game? How come all these tickets are going to tourists as opposed to the working class man who's maybe it was their fathers or the grandfathers who put these teams together in the first place? Can the game be given back to the fans? So it don't stop here, but I'm happy for what I'm seeing in the last hour or so.
Can I ask you a question, Neeks? Do you think Man United are close? You're a United fan yourself. Do you think the Glazers and Man United are close to making a big decision to U-turn, or do you think they'll be one of the last to do it?
Manchester United will be, I think, the final two teams between them and Real Madrid to pull out. Once one of those two go, it's over. If Man United came out today and said we're out, the rest of them don't even need to say we're out. It's over. If Real Madrid came out and said we're out, then the whole thing's done, because we are the two biggest clubs, the most influential clubs in world football. But the reason why us, and I suspect Arsenal and maybe Liverpool as well, of course, Real Madrid, they are going to try and our owners are going to try and drag this right through to the end, because we know what our owners are all about. We can't say the same about Sheikh Mansour and Roman Abramovich, but we know what our owners are about, and it ain't about football. It ain't about football.
Terry, I have to say this. Have you seen what Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang put out? He's taking shots at Arsenal. He's taking shots at Twitter. He's taking shots all over the place. I even put a share screen of it. Honestly, I think Aubameyang is taking shots at the club about this whole situation with the Super League. He's saying that he's not allowed to speak. Obviously he's coming back from being ill. He hasn't spoken about a lot of things, but this is taking shots at everybody, in my opinion.
Sorry,
Sorry, so I haven't missed you, Twitter. We're now allowed to talk to anyone. Only football in the Super League. No more talking about COVID or online abuse, racism. Nice. Yeah, listen, and I understand where Aubameyang is coming from, because, you know, I nearly put myself into hot bother earlier today, and I thought, you know, I'm not going to ruffle the feathers of any sort of fellow fan channels. But Neeks will know this, because Neeks has worked alongside me for many years. When we've seen fans kicked off trains, incidents in stadiums, the amount of times I called on, when I say fan channels, I'm talking about fan channels standing outside stadiums interviewing people. The amount of times I called on them to have dedicated shows to those things, or question the fans after games about that, I was attacked Why are you bringing it up for? Why are you saying it? What do you do, etc.? When it comes to this, everyone, every 5 minutes streaming about it. And I think for me, I understand where Aubameyang is coming from. This issue has bothered more people than racist people. I put a black box on their Instagram pages or whatever. But what do people actually do? Do they actually take time on their YouTube channels, on their fan scenes, on their websites, on their Twitter accounts to actually have these debates and challenge these difficult questions and make content on it? It's difficult content. Like, do you know the amount of people that give me crap for even talking about it? These things need to happen, and Aubameyang is absolutely right. This can't be the beginning and the end of fans, fan channels, fanzines, websites protesting against problems in football. This has got to be the attitude to all misjustices within the game. It has to be, because look what we can do when we actually stand up. Plus, when you get the government actually do something, the TV companies, the broadcasters, the mainstream media actually do something. But the fear here is that they have only reacted to this because they were worried about their bottom line. They were worried about their income if the Premier League fell apart and whatnot. And we need to see this energy for so many other things. We truly do. Nick, you said you had some news.
No, I just wanted to say, yeah. Also, TalkSport are reporting that all 12 clubs are meeting tonight to discuss disbanding the Super League. That's what TalkSport are reporting. And there's also reports saying Man United are pulling out. Luke Shaw and Maguire confronted Ed Woodward. What I need to say is we're using this term, Chelsea are pulling out, Man United are pulling out, Man City are pulling out. Pulling out of what? You created it. So it's not that you've joined this club and now you're trying to remove yourself. You were part of putting this all together in the first place. So it's not a case of, oh, well, yeah, we're going to get out. We don't want to be associated with these bad guys. You are the bad guys. If you didn't sign on the dotted line in the first place, this would never have come to the table. It could never have come to the table. So whilst one person may have driven it, Perez may have got called up Woodward, and Woodward called Kroenke, and Kroenke called someone else. You all picked up the phone and you all agreed. So they're pulling out. But what they're doing is disbanding because they realize maybe this backlash is actually more than we expected. Maybe we can't act, because if they could get away with it, they would. There's no morality in this. If they could have got away with this, they would have.
They would have, yeah.
Terry, someone from Sky just reported that Liverpool, Manchester United, and Arsenal are all staying in the Super League.
Who? What? Give me some information.
I'll put it on screen right now. 1 second. It was Edward, and he said, delete. 1 second.
You sure?
He literally just deleted it.
He deleted it. That's because what superseded it is what Neeks has just said there. They're not pulling out, as you say. They are not going ahead with what they said they were going to do. That is what is happening in this situation. There's no doubt about it. We want to go to some more calls, though. We want to know what more of the viewers thinking here, feeling, and everything else. We've got Gooner Express on now. Gooner Express, what do you want to say?
Yeah, they're saying as well that Atletico Madrid are pulling out of it. So I think it's pretty much over. Obviously, Perez is doing a radio interview tonight, so that's going to be the most interesting thing for the last maybe 50 years in football. But the one thing that I think as fans that we can't do is get too excited about it. We have now, a lot of us already knew the issues, but more of the fans have begun to realise the issues of football, that these owners are given 100% ownership of the biggest clubs in the world. They're allowed to do whatever they want with them. And the fact that, the likes of UEFA and FIFA have been swimming with these sharks for so many years, and as soon as they get bitten, they instantly cry about it. They run to the fans and expect help. I can assure every single fan on the planet, in those meetings that they've had, this week and the last few days, they haven't once mentioned the fans. They've given the scripts that they read out in the meetings. The PR teams will have put the fans in there to make it feel like they've discussed the fans, and that's it. They don't care. And so for me, get rid of the Super League, but bring in the 50+1 rule, get rid of UEFA, or at least change it in some certain sense. And it's the same thing for the Premier League and FIFA, because they're all hypocrites. UEFA complain about the money that the Super League is going to make, yet they refuse to cancel the Champions League because of TV rights. They're all massive hypocrites, and they're all ruining football. All of them. That's what's ruining football. It's the owners, it's the UEFA, it's FIFA, it's all these people who only care about money. Fans, in their eyes, are customers. That's all we are. We're customers to their store, and their store is the club.
Mate, I could not agree with what you said more there, mate. More needs to be done. This is just the beginning. It really, really is. The only thing I would disagree with is I would be excited because it shows change can happen when everybody puts some damn energy into it. There's no doubt about it at all. Listen, bro, thank you for coming on and having your say. Really appreciate that. Next up on the show, we've got Adam with us. Adam, welcome to the Terrace. What do you want to say?
No, I'm just saying that I'm glad. If the rumors are true, to say it's a good thing, but it just shows that how powerful we are, as regardless of what fan base we support. You know?
Yeah, I do agree. Try and call us back with a slightly better line, Adam. I'm really sorry, mate. It was difficult to hear you there, my friend. Thank you. Make sure you're all hitting that like and that share button, ladies and gentlemen. As we said, protests have been going on today outside Stamford Bridge. Footage there. Chelsea fans and many football. We know a Brighton fan that was there. He messaged into us to let us know he was there doing his thing, fighting against it today. We're here taking your calls. We're getting your reaction because as it stands right now, Chelsea, Manchester City have requested to remove themselves from the Super League. Atletico Madrid are not joining. Barcelona have said they won't join until they've had a vote. There are big rumblings that Manchester United will be pulling out or resigning or disbanding, whatever kind of phrase you want to use, but will not be pushing forward. Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw leading the line to push against this after comments from the likes of Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford. They may not have been words, but the pictures and the messages they sent were very, very clear for us to read. We've got Brandon on the show next. Brandon, welcome back to the Terrace. What do you want to say?
I agree with everything you lot have just been saying. But now it's time for a change. I want to see every single owner who has signed up to that Super League being run out of their club, especially Stan Kroenke. I can guarantee you right now, Arsenal will be one of the very, very last teams to pull out of this because we're in a situation where we're 10 years behind everybody else. We're a fallen giant. Yeah. So this whole Super League thing coming about, it was an easy way for us to compete with the best, make money, a shed load of money without having to worry about actually being competitive. And that's what Stan Kroenke wants. So it wouldn't surprise me if we are one of the last teams to pull out. I want to see this.
You say this. There's just a tweet saying that Arsenal are looking to pull out of the Super League. So Arsenal's rumblings of leaving. Yep, there's some more. Stan Collymore. Yeah, they are leaving. Oh, your Arsenal are leaving the Super League. Maybe a bit quicker than you thought. How do you feel?
Well, it's obviously it's good to hear that they're leaving a bit sooner than what I thought, but at the same time, I still want this idiot out. I was looking at what was going on, right, and it was fans like Turkish, for example, that I really felt sorry for because over the past 3 years, he has tried to make things happen to get this football owner out of this football club, and fans, they sit there and they say, "Oh, Kroenke out," and then we'll go and sign a big name player, and then everything's all fine and dandy again. So fans like Turkish was the people that I felt sorry for because he's been trying to get this guy out for years.
110%, Brandon. And I tweeted the same thing a few times in the last few days. Again, not trying to take shots. Neeks, again, I'm going to go to Neeks because Neeks has been with me, alongside me for all of this. I've been talking about the glazers at Man United every single time we want to sack a manager. And we've had Ollie Outers on this show. No, Ollie's the bigger problem, or he's just as big. Change the manager, the club will be okay. Me and Neeks as United fans have been screaming for years. And it's only now suddenly you've got everybody, because it's fashionable, everybody wants to, let's go and protest and let's actually try and get them out. 3 months ago when we were telling you they're the ones that were taking the club backwards and ruining things for us, no, you just wanted to moan about a PE teacher. Hypocrites, absolute hypocrites, all of them. And you're absolutely right with that, Brandon. Listen, mate, great call. Thank you for coming on. And
Can I just say, Terry, on top of that, because obviously Brandon's saying that he hopes at the end of this, Stan Kroenke has to leave. I just got a message from a Real Madrid fan, and he's saying he believes that if this doesn't go ahead, which it looks like it's going to fall apart before it's even got started, Perez cannot return to Real Madrid. Like his presidency is over, because he came out bare face and did that interview yesterday. He is dragging the whole of Real Madrid, who already don't have a great reputation in world football because they're seen as the big guys, the bullies. They're dragging them right through the mud. Zidane hasn't even said anything. He refused to say anything. If he can't return to Real Madrid, we need to look at ourselves as Man United fans and say, if this is over, and we know that Joe Glazer was right at the top of this, he came out with a statement signed personally. We have to do everything in our power to get these snakes out of our club, because today they'll pull out the Super League, tomorrow they'll start a new one. Like, you think they've now come on this a new morality trip and they've turned the corner? No, it's not. They'll look for the next opportunity to make money out of Man United, the detriment of football. We have to get them out.
What have I been screaming for the last how many months now? About the resistance.
Yeah.
About boycotting the team. About not going back to the stadium. About doing the most to get these men out. You want to listen now? Cool, let it. Cool.
No,
Let's do it then. Let's do it then.
110% super chat here from KC. Says Barca couldn't have joined the Super League without members' approval. We are 100% fan owned. Premier League fans now realize that selling yourself to billionaires is a bad idea. Perez, that dictator, is finished. I 100% agree with you. Next on the show, we've got young Samuel. Samuel, what do you want to say, mate?
Terry, the action doesn't stop here. We have to continue, because if people are going to stop now, they're the real big issue. Because we've got to continue, get rid of these dickheads, the Glazers and the Cronkies, because they've come in here, think they're all their big balls here, and now with slight pressure, they've collapsed. All of them have collapsed. All the major networks, okay, BT Sport and Sky Sports as well, who said they've been moaning about this for the past couple of days, they got to fix up as well. They've been charging fans £15, £20 for games. Put your money where your mouth is and lower your prices. Make it free to watch for everyone. Put your money where your mouth is. This is everyone football. Everyone football. This doesn't stop now, because everyone's eyes in the global game of football, the eyes have been opened. Okay, some people didn't see it at first. We saw it. Everyone on this panel saw it. The disgust and the corruption going on in football right now. And thankfully, these owners are folded. And hopefully the government, hopefully the fans open up and we implement the 50+1 rule with immediate effect. Because this is the only way moving forward. The work doesn't stop, Terry. It's only just the beginning.
Listen, I think it's very strong words, and I hear what you're saying there. The eyes have been opened. I think one thing these clubs were hoping for, I think they disrespected and underestimated the international fan. I think they underestimated the international fan. Thought, the internationals that make a lot of our money will just go, well, we don't go to games anyway because of where we live. It's great for us. It's been 90% universal support that this is a bad idea from the majority of people out there. And I think it's bit them. This is how out of touch they are. I don't think the owners thought the backlash would be this bad. And there's an element of that makes me kind of happy because it shows how they do not understand the game. And the game, and Pep said it well today. I'm going to plagiarize him. Without the competitiveness, it's not sport. Sport isn't sport without there being competitiveness. If you lose a match and it doesn't matter, there's no competitiveness. And it's ended a debate. And everyone tuning in now, anyone who says they watch football for entertainment, maybe you do, but the entertainment is the competitive nature of a football match as opposed to the beauty of the game in itself. Because we could have had all these dead rubber, meaningless Premier League games next season because the Super League existed. But would you have enjoyed them if they didn't mean anything? That competitive nature, that want to win is imperative. And the fun and the banter, the angst, the tears, the laughter, the joy, the euphoria that comes with winning games because it's competitive is what makes this one of the greatest sports in the world. And because it's one of the greatest sports, it's become one of the biggest businesses and one of the biggest industries in the world that goes just outside. It's not just what the Premier League earns, it's all the branch offs, the small businesses, the pubs, the hotels, the travel industries are all connected to this game we call football. Across Europe and the world, they've just come out and said this is wrong, 90+%. And these owners, I don't think they thought this was going to happen. And there's massive, massive egg on their faces there. Listen, young Samuel, thank you for coming on, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate that. Got some super chats here. Arsenal and United have left. Never forget, though. Hashtag Glazers and Woodward out. Kroenke out. I don't know if that's confirmed as of yet, but I agree with you.
It's
not confirmed. Yeah. Man like Jesse here says, I came on the other night and said it's important to help the American fan base know what's going on with our owners. The press here have been ridiculous. Looks like the owners are doing it themselves. Hashtag Viva la Resistance. Absolutely. Next on the show, we've got...
Sorry, Terrace, I wanted to say quickly.
Sorry, Aubameyang deactivated his Twitter.
Oh
yeah, he said he was going. He said he was going, and he did say bye. So like, it's no surprise. He did say he was leaving.
Perez yesterday, and this is the ride on your point in terms of them not understanding the fans. Perez came out yesterday talking about how basically he wants to move on from what he calls the legacy fan onto the new age fan. He's basically tried to say that the current fan of football, you're old fashioned. You don't know what you really want. We're going to target those, and we know what they really want. And to the last 24 hours has proved that he hasn't got a clue.
That's funny.
The legacy fan ain't 50, 60 years old. They've had children, and some of them have had children. The legacy fan are the 14, 15, and 16-year-olds who we said aren't interested in football. They're the ones who's protesting outside of Stamford Bridge right now.
Uniques. You know what's funny? He's a legacy president. He is a legacy president because he's flipping old. You know what I'm saying? 74, and his brother is trying to tell us how to run football, but get out of here, fam. You should know, fam.
It's absolutely done in relation to that. We're going to go to some more calls here. Next up, we've got if you can turn your cameras on, people, turn your cameras on. It's much better for us in what we're doing moving forward now. So try and get your cameras on if you can, please. iTest is with us. What you saying?
Yeah, so I just came back. I had the fight with Peter Cech and everything outside Stamford Bridge. But for me, I want to address you. Like, you're saying we should go after the Glazers, Kroenke and all of that, because you believe, and I understand, you believe we should go after the root cause. And the root cause isn't the players, it's not Ollie, and you say it's the Glazers. But you see me, I disagree. I think the root cause is the Premier League. That's the root cause, because even the owners that we call good and care about the club and care about winning, like Roman, like Sheikh Mansour, like all of these other owners in Italy, they also agree to the Super League. If you show them money, they're also gonna agree to it. So you have to go to the Premier League and tell them to implement the 50+1 rule. That's why Bayern Munich didn't enter the Super League. Bayern Munich didn't enter the Super League because their 50% is the fans. Is the fans.
I test absolute facts. Absolute facts. So when we speak about root cause, I'm not talking about the root cause primarily of the Super League. The root cause of the Super League is stemmed from two places. It's the corruption within UEFA and the greed of the governing bodies, and then coupled with the greed of the owners of our football clubs. They all just want money. Both parties have lost sight of what football is truly about. And they've created this absolute abomination out of it, and the football world has stood up. Now what we need to see is pressure put on our clubs, pressure put on the Premier League, and it isn't just to reform the ownership of these football clubs. As we've said many, many times, and I don't think we'll stop beating this drum because it's very, very important, it's racism and sexism within the game. It's ensuring that lower level clubs are protected, that there is enough money. Of course, you don't always have to protect everyone at lower levels. If they're not running the club well, there comes a point where you've got to say, Jesus Christ, come on. But let's protect lower levels. Let's pump more money into grassroots. Let's make football accessible for kids teams and young boys, young girls that are playing football, and not price them out of the game. Let's not turn it into a middle upper class sport that working class people can't afford to do. That's what needs to be addressed here, because football, the Premier League in England is the top of Mount Everest in terms of where a young player wants to get to, as an example. But it starts off on Hackney Marshes. It's in the playgrounds. It's at the schools. It's in the park with your mum and your dad and your brothers and your sisters and everybody else. And it's imperative that all of this gets addressed right down to the beginning, and this just gets reshuffled and re-looked at, and as much greed and corruption is removed as possible. I think you are absolutely, categorically spot on, iTest, and well done for going along to those protests today. Great points being made there from you.
Why did you send him away when I wanted to ask him a question? Because I saw his face on Twitter.
Yes, I
saw his face on Twitter, and I wanted to see it on stream.
Sorry. I was going to jump into some more calls there, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you hit the like in that share button for us, please. We've got Kesh on. See you later, mate. We've got Kesh on the line with us now. Kesh, It's been a crazy few days. It looks like more and more teams are pulling out of this now, one by one. Give me your thoughts, mate.
It's angry.
It's a bit of a mad one, you know. It's a bit of a mad one. I've not really been able to dive into it as much as I would like because of work. But listen, all I'm saying is Man United, Arsenal, and Liverpool, we are going to feel the repercussions of this. These owners will show some anger. I think we say our owners are bad now. Just imagine what they're going to do now. Imagine how neglectful they're going to be right now. And another thing is the outrage that we've showed over this. When it comes to other matters, we don't do it. We don't join as one. We don't show our solidarity to fight these causes. It's absolutely disgusting. We say that's disgusting. It's absolutely shown a lot of people that you speak to, people that you're close to, it's shown their true colors.
100%, Kesh, 100%. And I mean, I'll get to the regular person in a minute. You look at UEFA, who are so against, obviously, the Super League for their own pockets. And we know they're for their own pockets. Remember when Nicholas Bentner showed a sponsored underwear and he got fined? Yeah, how much did he get fined? About 30K? But a whole club, I think it was in Eastern Europe. I can't remember the actual country, so I won't say. But their fans were racially abusing a player, monkey chance booing, and they got fined. The whole club got fined less than half of what Nicholas Bentner as an individual did for showing a sponsored piece of underwear in a UEFA tournament. So we know where their loyalties lie. It's always with the money. Let's not get that twisted. But you're right. And as Terry said earlier, when racist incidents happen in your clubs, so whether it's at Chelsea, you should expect Chelsea fans more than anyone else. Those people should be coming out and speaking loudly against racism happening. And we know some do, but not enough do. When Manchester United a few years ago had the most number of racist cases reported in Old Trafford, Manchester United fans and fan channels need to be speaking out more than anyone else. The same with Arsenal when Aubameyang was thrown a banana, etc., etc. So you're 100% right.
Do you know what
we've shown today? Well, sorry, Terry. What we've seen today in the last few days is that when people want to make a change, they can. So why hasn't a change been made in certain situations? The answer's right there, because they don't really want to make a change.
They don't want to. Absolutely. I remember there was the banana incident with Aubameyang. And I want to say a week or so later, Spurs played Tottenham, and there was some anti-Semitic abuse. And I remember seeing fan channels from Arsenal, and it was Arsenal fans. I can't believe it happened to Aubameyang. This is a disgrace, and they're right for calling out what happened to Aubameyang. And then when it was Arsenal fans with the anti-Semitic gestures, the Spurs fan channels were very noisy about it, and the Arsenal ones were absolutely silent. And that's what needs to be addressed. And I try and address on here as much as we can. We don't cover every single subject matter that goes on. We try to cover as much as we can. I've had times where an incident has happened and I haven't gone live about it quick enough. And I'm getting messages by other channels. Are you actually covering this one, or are you not going to bother this time around? Is it not important to you? And I'm thinking, you're calling me out, someone that literally talks about these things more than any other YouTuber, dedicates streams to it and times to it. And it needs more people to stand up and speak up. These kind of protests we've seen today, I praise them for what they're going there to do. But it can't stop at this. More needs to be done across multiple subjects. Otherwise, you are telling us what you do and don't care about it. There's no doubt about it. You're gone, mate.
I just got two other points. Listen, as much as it will pain me, I feel all these clubs should be punished. They should be punished. I'm not against the Super League, and I'm not for it, because when I look at it and I dive into it and I see the way Arsenal's been run, Arsenal's been swimming in mediocrity because of their owners. A big club who went from winning things as soon as he came in, weren't doing nothing. The Premier League weren't fighting against that. We're saying, oh, these owners ain't respecting traditions and all that. These owners have not respected the Arsenal tradition. They've not run Arsenal the way that Arsenal should be run. And another thing, you've committed an offence. I don't care if you've pulled down now. You should still be punished. But UEFA is not going to do that. FIFA, Premier League, they're not going to do that.
Because it's going to affect their money. Once they get them back, they're good.
When you hear the likes of Gary Neville and everything talking about this, yes, what you're saying is facts. But, as I said, people do a lot of things that's not right in life, when it suits them. Because if the European Super League came out and said, listen, we're offering this, that, that, I guarantee you these guys will jump at it thinking about their family and their futures.
Yeah, no, I do hear you on that one, mate. I think you took a lot of sense on there. Anita, Chelsea have pulled out, essentially requested to leave. I'd love your thoughts on that first and foremost, that you won't be in the Super League and you're the first of the 12 to officially withdraw. What's your reaction to that? Oh, you're on mute.
My response is pretty simple. Everyone can stop talking about Chelsea ruining football now. Everyone for the last 24 hours have been saying Chelsea started this rubbish. Now you guys can thank us for ending it. We didn't start it. We didn't do nothing to have this. This is you, man. Terry, I'm looking at you. KJ, Neeks, looking at you lot. This is you.
Really, Anita, are you going to do this?
No, listen, really? I agree.
Let Anita finish.
Let me finish. Because I have suffered so much abuse online because everyone's saying this is all Chelsea's fault. How can you support this team? Blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you for a fact, teams like Man City and teams like Chelsea did not need this. It's teams like Arsenal, Man United, Liverpool, Spurs that needed this more than we needed it. We were in there and the reports were true. We were in there because we were backed into a corner. Am I surprised that we are one of the first people to pull out? Hell no. I expected this. This was 100% going to happen. Roman cares about the fans. Roman cares about football. He is a football fan. He is. You guys can look at me and shake your head, say,
No, I'm shaking my head at something else. Sorry. Continue.
But do I think, like Kesh, all teams should be punished as well? Most likely, because it's just caused such an outrage. But at the end of the day, I just want to get on with it. And I'm not being funny here. I love my Chelsea fans. Like, my Chelsea fans, when they want to do something, they're gonna do it. They're gonna block off the road. They're gonna go outside and they're gonna stop. They're gonna stop the team from coming inside to start their match or whatever. Apparently, the bus has been out there for 45 minutes. Tuchel came on and said he was in the bus for 45 minutes, and he's kind of pissed off about it. And I love our fans because they know when there's a cause, there's something to fight for, they will go out and they will fight for it. Let's handle it the same way when it comes to racism then. Let's handle it that way because I'm sick and tired of hearing about this. I'm so sick and tired of it. For the last 3 days, I haven't heard a word that's not about ESL. But when a player gets racially abused, after 24 hours, it's brushed under the rug. The same way Gary Neville was saying on Sky Sports that we should go out and we should protest, we should do sit-down protests, blah, blah, blah. It's the same thing we did today. Tell them again when a player gets racially abused. Tell them again. Because this is rubbish. I forgot we're branded now. This is rubbish. This is absolute rubbish and I cannot stand for it. It's ridiculous. The ESL is ridiculous. I get that. I understand that. And big up Chelsea fans for going out there today and showing them that fans are more important than the business money. Big up the fans for doing that. Big up Terrace for coming outside, and he didn't even have to come outside and stand there with the fans telling them we're going to sort it. He didn't have to do that. Big up Terrace, big up my club. But when it comes to racism, fans do the same thing. That's what I got to say.
Sorry. 1 second. Anita, I absolutely agree with everything you have said there. I just need to bring this breaking news. This is the biggest news Manchester United have had in 8 years. Ed Woodward has resigned from Manchester United Football Club. Ed Woodward has resigned.
Come on.
Oh my fucking crap.
Come on! Oh my goodness!
Oh my God!
Do you not understand how long I've been waiting for this?
The glazers are still there. I don't know why you're not getting gas. I don't get it.
It's part of the issue. Ed Woodward has resigned, ladies and gentlemen. We're here still taking your calls, still taking your super chats. There is a super chat here I want to put up that says, I'm pro Super League because of the cap. FFP was supposed to do that. the UEFA fouled. Chelsea and City dropping out is because the two of the wealthiest owners in the league, fans, are being gaslit. Massive news that's gone on here. I know there's other super chats that have come through. I can't get them all up on the screen right now. There's one here from Anita. Baz here says, Anita is right. We prove that people will fight for a change when their way of life is threatened. This is the reality of racism every day. You're absolutely right there. Nima, Paul Ross here. So Paul Ross says they need to ban American owners now. I don't think we don't need to ban about nationality. It's about the type of owner and how things are done, the control they have. That's what needs to happen. I don't care for the nationality. Nima here says, if you want to oppose racism, you have to oppose imperialism and neo-colonism. I'm not going to lie. I don't know what that means.
Right.
That's not my bag. That's not my bag on it. On that one. Wow. The Glazers have forced him out. He wouldn't have come to that. We don't know why he's gone as of now, but he has resigned. This is gargantuan news for Manchester United Football Club. It truly, truly is. Who would have thought there's a Premier League game of football kicking off in 3 minutes? Like it's the way
it's been delayed. It's been delayed.
Terry, can I just say something quickly? It's been delayed.
Yeah, it's been delayed.
Yeah,
that's mad. I think my camera's gonna be. I just want to say, listen. Obviously, I'm happy about the Jade Woodward.
You have to give Thanksgiving, huh?
Listen. Anyway, you're right. You're right, Kesh. The Glazers still need to go. I just wanted to touch on something, Anita. Well, first and foremost, anyone abusing Anita or any fan out there for a decision made by someone or some people that have nothing to do with us is you're completely out of order, disrespectful, and that has no place in society, in the world. So you don't deserve that. No fan deserves that. What I would say is, though, I don't know if it was a bit of banter in terms of it's you, Terry, KJ, Nix. I don't know. But
it's banter.
What I would say is that all the clubs are, yes, as I said before, there may be one or two are driving it, but none of the clubs were held at gunpoint. Abramovich ain't even in the country to be held at gunpoint, but none of them were held at gunpoint to say you have to join this or else. So I was speaking to Yannicka yesterday, and she actually said, as a Man City fan, for her, she feels even worse in the sense that Man United fans, we know how bad these Glazers are. This is in their they can do this. We know that they've got this in them. Sheikh Mansour and Roman Abramovich are conducting themselves as football owners in a way since they've been here that has changed the perspective we have on them that people didn't have when they first took over the club. We thought they're going to ruin football. They have done so much better, especially Sheikh Mansour over in Manchester for the city of Manchester. To then go and do this when you said, as you stated, they don't need the money. There's no debt. There's no big wages, etc. that they can't finance. Yet they were still willing to do it, even at the detriment of football. So I'm not saying it's their fault. I'm not saying it's this person's fault, that person's fault. For me, once you signed it and you wasn't under duress, I think everyone is as culpable as each other.
But Nix,
I was just going to say that I've seen too many fans from all clubs. I've seen fans for people point fingers at Liverpool, point fingers at United, point fingers at City, point fingers everywhere. What I wanted to say is that we didn't need that. All we need to know is that we have got a common enemy, which is all of them. All of them were the enemy in that situation. So all the finger pointing should have just been at them, not any of the fans, because we didn't ask them to be our owners. So anyone abusing Anita, Neeks, Kesh, Terry, whoever is a fan, their owners are not us. We are not them. We never asked for this. And we got to keep putting our foot on those pagans' necks.
110%. I need to go to some more callers here, bro. We're going to bring some more callers in. We're going to get Harry on the line next with us. I think Harry's there. I think he's ready. I'm not too sure. Yes, he is. Harry's with us now. What are you saying, Harry?
Hey man, I think it's really good news for everyone involved. I know yesterday I said I didn't care, and by that I meant that for me, the game has already died, and it has been dying for years under UEFA. And like Nick said at the beginning, which was just 100% spot on. Let's hope that UEFA and the FA show how much they care about fans, because I certainly don't want to ruin the party, but Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher and Rio Ferdinand's epic speeches aside, they were concerned about their jobs and about their future. And it became a game of poker where they put all their cards on the table and said, right, this is wholeheartedly wrong. Everyone go and back it. Everyone go against it. And rightly so, everyone has. But let's see now how things move forward under FA, under UEFA, who are organisations that say they care about fans and care about football, but turn a blind eye to almost everything. Let's not forget that Sparta Prague wholeheartedly stood up in front of Arsenal's players, knowing that we would take the knee, and they did it with no remorse, knowing they would get away with it. The referee also took a knee, knowing that Sparta Prague won't take a knee. So all these things go on in football. The ticket prices, the way the airlines bump up the prices, the way the trains bump up the prices, the cost of food in the stadiums. We've been getting mugged for years. So from my perspective, I was like, man, if they're going to start a Super League and somehow Arsenal are going to get some more money to compete again, then that's why I was like, oh, well, listen, I'm not for it. I'm not against it. But let's hope now, like Nick said, that the FA and UEFA show a bit of heart and compassion now, because they've said football's about fans, and all the fans now have went and protested for them off the back of their words. And now it's over to them to see if they actually really mean it, because it'll be interesting to see what happens when it comes to these big European competitions and the World Cup in Qatar, and people dying building stadiums in Qatar, and World Cup getting moved to winter. So they say they care about football and care about the fans, but let's see if they back it up.
Listen, I could not agree with you more. This can't be the end now. This needs to be the start of what moves forward, and across all areas. It really, really does. Kesh, you were going to say something before we took Harry's call.
I'm just saying, are these governing bodies going to help us fans wrestle our clubs back from these owners, or are they just going to stand still and just say, okay, that's it? Because I tell you what, they might have failed now. They will try again.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt, they will try again.
Well, let's be honest.
That's why we've got to keep going. That's why we've got to keep going.
And that's what I'm going to say. When Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher and whoever, they're happy to challenge the Super League because they're not employed by the Super League. If the fans now go to challenge Sky Sports, are they going to back us? Probably not. So we need to make sure that we go harder because we got less people on our side. So Gary Neville's telling us to go and write to the MPs about the Super League. Cool. Thanks, Gary Neville, for the ideas. I'm going to write to the MPs about Sky Sports and BT Sports and the Premier League and UEFA. So that's what we need to make sure we do. We can't. We need to take this momentum. That's what we need to do.
Anita, what's happened?
Everyone's resigning, boy.
Everyone's resigning. Yeah, sorry, my screen's gone. Sorry.
Apparently, Agnelli.
Agnelli's resigned.
You know why?
Agnelli, the Juve president.
They've tried a coup. Shit. They've tried a coup and it has flopped.
Yes.
You cannot return. You cannot return.
That's what it is. You're absolutely right, KJ. They've tried something. You know what's interesting, right? Again, I tweeted about it last night because I was disgusted with Ollie Outers, who tried to still trying to have a go at Ollie. They were like, no, I think Ollie, basically saying, I think Ollie was involved and I think Ollie's just as bad. We all know the truth in these matters. None of the managers, none of the players knew this was coming. Sir Alex Ferguson didn't know this was coming, and he came out and spoke out against it. But yes, of course they're going to resign. They've got nowhere else to go because their jobs are now untenable. They cannot stay in their positions. They really, really can't. Listen, Kesh, thank you very much, mate, for coming on. And Neeks, who are having you. So I'm going to recycle the callers a little bit. Really appreciate your inputs as ever, gentlemen. Thank you very, very much indeed. We've got David with us now. David, give me your reaction to Chelsea pulling out, Woodward resigning, and all the madness going on.
I mean, again, I said it yesterday. I'm proud that we've left, but it should have never happened in the first place. But by the by, it doesn't matter. We're the ones to pull the plug, and ultimately the rest will follow because that's how it is. The whole point of the Super League was that once those big four went, your asset of staying doesn't matter anymore because those teams would have just grown in wealth and you would have been left behind. So you needed enough people who were in that Super League to back out. That's the whole point. And I think what's happened is Chelsea, City, and the other ones that are deciding to leave now have talked to each other and said, what we are doing is a bit stupid. We need to sort this out. Because you can't have a Super League of 4 teams, especially when 2 of them are Arsenal, Tottenham, and United, and the other being Real Madrid. It doesn't work. It's not Super League.
Of course, and that's that's the point, I think, to what KJ and that was saying earlier. Although this is the brainchild of Man United and of Liverpool, it wouldn't have got legs if everybody else didn't join it. It almost becomes 6 of one and half a dozen of another. You know, what's the expression? You know, it just because my dad used to say to me, if your mate Joe jumps off a cliff, are you going to jump off as well?
Yeah.
Do you know, is an element of that where everyone's got to take responsibility. But I
mean,
also go on, mate.
Again, did we even really join? Because again, Florentino Perez, I don't know why we're taking his word on Chelsea joining in the first place. What I think happened.
No. We bring out a whole statement. We brought out a statement that we're back.
Yeah, you did.
I'm really like not sure about all these statements.
Do you know what it is, David? No, Chelsea brought out a statement themselves.
So I think it was more a letter of intent more than anything. Because
go on, Anita.
You know what it is, right? And this is why I've been sitting down chilling. This is why I've been calm, and this is why I've been telling everyone it's not that deep. Relax. Everything is intent. Everything is intent. Nothing has happened. Nothing is moving forward. All of this is speculation. Everything has been speculation. There was absolutely no way the Premier League was going to kick out the 6 biggest teams. There was absolutely no way the 6 biggest teams were going to go against the Premier League and UEFA. It is all intent. And the intent has driven us to this point today, which is great. Fantastic. Oh, Terry, you want to say something?
Yeah, I do. More breaking news from Michael Keenan, who has been absolutely spot on so far. Big reports coming out of Manchester United that the Glazers are now seriously contemplating selling the football club of the Super League to go through. The Glazers are seriously contemplating selling Manchester United Football Club tonight. And do you know what? I need to bring someone in here because
you guys are going to need some tissues.
We were voice noting. We were voice noting today, myself and Canadian Cam, because we were talking about this could end up. If it goes south for the people that wanted the Super League, it could have the adverse effect and actually collapse everything down upon them. They could end up sort of suffocating themselves and ending their own reign at these clubs and damaging themselves further and losing out financially with this failing. We're going to bring Canadian Cam in a moment, but it is being reported now by Michael Keane that the Glazers are seriously contemplating selling Manchester United Football Club. Could the end of the tyrannical reign of the Glazers be coming to an end for Manchester United? Canadian Cam joins us now. Give me your reaction to the failure now of the Super League and, of course, Glazers maybe selling and Ed Woodward resigning.
First off, I just want to say my homegirl Anita, well said. That needed to be said. I was actually pissed off about a lot of this. They being like, look at all this, but we ain't do nothing about racism. Anyway, first thing I did this morning was I hit up Terry and I said, yo, this is interesting. And I'm a critical thinker and all this. And a lot of people thought I was kind of on the side of the street. I never have been, but I look at all the corruption and problems in the sport of football. And I follow a lot of sports and a lot of leagues, and football is very corrupt. And I said, this is going to be the collapse of all the corruption. It's funny how it's going to turn out. This ESL, when it doesn't work, I said to Terry, I said, as long as it doesn't go through, if it goes through, we're in trouble. If this doesn't go through, there is no coming back. None. KJ, I also said to you, this is going to be the catalyst. I said it yesterday. I said to Ed Woodward and the Glazers going out, this is business, and they failed. They attempted a hostile takeover and they failed. In business, when you attempt a hostile takeover, you best not miss, because now the people have spoken. Now that it's out there, everybody is looking in the directions of all the corruption. And it's so beautiful. And I'm so happy that it's all working out for the best, because when you look at it, now everybody has to look at the end of the day. Everybody has to look at the problems in football, UEFA, FIFA. It's all going to come to a head, and they're going to have to look at ways of how to fix this sport, because Bayern shouldn't be winning eight league titles on the bounce. Borussia Dortmund shouldn't be able to charge $200 million for a player. These things should not be happening in sport. There needs to be regulation, and it's going to come. And we're seeing it now with the owners going, with these American owners, because guess what? Their investments are failing. Not a shot at Arsenal, but the only reason the Kroenkes wanted to do this, because their investment, they're looking at the league and they're saying, we're the next Aston Villa, we're the next Newcastle, we're the next team of yesteryear, we're the next team of the league. We invested to be at the top. We're no longer there. We're not good enough at this. We don't understand how to build a proper footballing program. We can't stay at the top. So what do? We force this issue. So Kroenkes, they're gone too next. Telling you Arsenal fans, they're gone. Any of these teams who can look at their football program and see that they've fallen behind in the rest of the world, they're gone. They're gone. Just prepare. It's going to take a bit of time, but they're out. At Woodward and Glazers, they'll be the first, because you know what? For the Glazers, the investment's done. The investment's done. It's done. It's over. So anyway, I'm gassed. You know,
permission to speak, please. Permission, please put me on the screen. Viewers, I apologize for your ears. Come on, man! Come on! I've been waiting for freaking years for this. You don't understand. When I was on here, when Terry, Neeks, Cam, Danny, when all these different people were telling you to fancy to unite, come together, and get these pagans gone, we got laughed at. We got, oh, we can't do it. Oh, what we do, we can't do. Oh, now look. And now look what happens when we all come together for once. We freaking are doing it to do it. I beg someone buys this football club who cares about football, who wants Manchester United to be the best in the world. I want us to be back. I've been waiting for this day for time. I'm so glad that Woodward is gone. And those pagans are feeling it. I've been waiting for this. And any one of you pagans, yeah, who said we couldn't do it, oi, fam, smell the coffee, we could have done it. You could have been here as well, enjoying the moment.
But again, the thing,
well said, KJ. We've got some super chats to do here. Make sure you're hitting that like and share button, people. We're here for the foreseeable. Pav says that dude has resigned from Juve. I told you these men would never be able to show their faces at the clubs anymore. And do you know what's true? We've had Pav said it when he phoned up, and many other callers have said the same thing. Cam saying it this morning. It was all inevitable, and I think Cam summed it up perfectly. They attempted a hostile takeover. KJ said they attempted a coup, and the coup failed. And when they fail, it's over. Abramovich lost 2.4 billion in personal wealth due to the pandemic. The European Super League would have benefited him financially. I am a Chelsea fan, no brownie points. Do you know what, Paul? Roman doesn't take money out the club, though. So it wouldn't. I don't think that would have helped him. I don't think he takes money out of the club, as far as I'm aware. The club actually owes him, I believe, about 1.5 billion pound in loans, and he's never going to. I think that the agreement is it's a legally binding agreement. He'll never ask for it back. Chelsea fans showed to these American owners that football fans do not take things, I think you mean lightly. Kroenke and the Glazers realize that this isn't the USA. You mess with one, you mess with us all in football. Chris, I hear you on that, but we now need to extend it beyond the money element. We've got to look at sexism, racism, corruption, extortionate money. Do you know what little things would help fans? We take it away from the really emotive thing. Just look at fans for a moment. What they do, you know, in like Germany, you might have to travel from one side of the country to the other to watch your team play away from home. They do these things where your ticket and your travel costs about 30, 40 euros all in. Bro,
Terry.
From London to Manchester, it's like 100 and something quid plus
Terry,
the ticket. £200 before you
what I mean.
Got out of London.
In Germany,
Comment here, Pastor KJ, is this real? Have the vibes worked? And sorry, Anita, you're right.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump off now to go watch the match. But just want to put it out there, my advert was shown again on Sky Sports. I haven't seen it in months. However, no room for racism is back, I guess.
Wait, before you go, Anita, because I gotta go too, but I gotta say something that you're probably gonna want to hear, and all you Chelsea fans are gonna want to hear me say on stream. Big up to the Chelsea fan base. Something I'll never ever say again, but big up because they were the biggest fan base today that made the noise. I've been saying it to everybody in the group chats that I'm very shocked as a North American, the passion and the fire that came from the fans. They change things in sport all the time in North America. And we just go, all right, cool. Well, guess that's how it's going to go. And we let it go. And then when it fails, it goes back to normal. So well done. Without the fans, this wouldn't have happened. So Chelsea fans, there you go. The ESL, the best thing to happen to football and the worst thing to happen to football at the same time. That's all I got to say. I got to get back to work, guys. Thanks for having me.
Take care, bro. Thank you, Anita. Thank you as well. We're going to get some more callers on. We'll do some super chats first. Now I support Chelsea with a passion. Let's go Blues. All the Ronnie says, why allow the Glazers to sell, force them to sell to fans? Look, that's something I think the government should still be looking at now. Reform on club ownership, who owns what. And the advantage we have over Europe from forcing this in is our government can do what they want now within reason because we're a sovereign country. And look, I was never a supporter of Brexit, but you know, sometimes every cloud can have a silver lining. And on this one particular slither of issue, it may actually benefit the football clubs in relation to doing this. It may do. We have to see the wood for the trees. We have to look at what's being suggested. Fabrizio here. Fabrizio says Woodward leaving has been planned for months. Now I'm confused. Look, Fabrizio gets told what he gets told. Maybe it's been planned for months, but it's a bit of a coincidence. It happens the same day after this gets announced. That unless he said he was quitting because of this and he didn't want it, but I don't believe it. He also, by the way, owns a hell of a lot of shares in Manchester United as well. Indiana is with us now. Indiana, what you saying, mate?
What a day, Terry. What a day for Manchester United. Woodward's going. The Glazers will sell. Big up to Chelsea fans. I've been saying this for such a long time. People think that the Glazers is a Manchester United problem. And I've always said it will become a football problem. And as football fans, we shouldn't allow owners to take over these clubs. We shouldn't allow it. We shouldn't allow it to rest. We can't do that. I'm glad Woodward's leaving. I am. I'm not going to lie. I'm glad the Glazers are looking to sell. I hope it all falls apart for all of them. I hope the same for Arsenal. I hope Arsenal manage to get rid of their owners and we can get fan shares in clubs, whatever it may be. But we can't stop this energy now. We have to keep the same energy for corruption in FIFA, for UEFA, fight against racism, sexism, all of it. We have to keep the same energy together as football fans. Separate the rivalries. We all love football, all of us. And together we can take this shit out the game. It can be done. But we have to work together on it, man. We have to do that. But a good day, great day.
Yeah.
Flipping out, man. I love this.
Absolutely right. Jess here says need the 50+1 rule to be invoked. Not the Saudis like people are saying. I know it sounds great, but it's not right. Do you know what it is for me? It's not even. I don't mind who owns the clubs within reason. There has to be checks on people. But what we can't do is take away too much control and control and power from the clubs, because if we do, these things can happen. There's a comment here that says, all this madness, Kepa is Kepa's starting tonight. That's an interesting one in the prim. I don't know what that says. The Church of Vibes. The Church of Vibes for the pastor. There we go. This is what that word was meant to say there, I think. There we go. Grace says, I was at Stamford Bridge today. Terry saved football. I heard John Terry was there.
I think he was. I've seen him trending, so I'm guessing he was.
Yeah, I guess.
What, outside Stamford Bridge?
I reckon. He's trending right now, so he must have done something. And I don't.
Was he wearing his full? Was he wearing his full kit as well?
Probably.
My friend who's a Villa fan is saying you come and protest tomorrow. You come in Villa Park tomorrow. I thought they opened the stadium for games or something, and he goes, "No, we're protesting." And I was like, "Yo, you man are protesting as well." And that's a Villa fan. The Villa fans were on it as well. The Leeds fan were on it as well. We have all come together and done something mad. Like, do you understand how mad I am gassed, bro? I am gassed. I am so happy.
Do you know what as well? I think they knew this was coming, say Chelsea point of view. One, with what Petr Cech said around everyone calm down. And then when you go again, this is where you go back to what Thomas Tuchel said yesterday, and it's why his press conference was very, very good. He's like, I trust Chelsea to make the right decisions. Maybe he knew in his heart of hearts, because it said, listen, we're looking at pulling out. We've seen the backlash already, and it's why it was. I think it was why it was important yesterday for managers to not be too too unanimous in what they were saying, because nobody quite knew what the decisions were. And the reason we say that is that some of the people that have signed up to this only days before had told people that they weren't signing up to anything like this. So you never quite know. What you wouldn't want to do as Tuchel is say, listen, I spoke to the club and they're going to be pulling out of it tomorrow. And then the club changed their mind, because then Tuchel puts himself in a really dangerous sort of situation. We've got Prime who's joining us now to come on and have his say. Prime, welcome back, mate. What do you want to say, buddy?
I'm glad that Chelsea came out and took a stand. Again, when yesterday Tuchel had his press conference and saying that I trust the club to make the right decision, they made the right decision. Look, like I was saying, it didn't make sense for us to even enter this in the first place, considering the fact that we weren't the ones that wanted to try and create it. Because monetary wise, we have money, so I don't like that's really the problem. The problem was probably being left behind, or maybe being somewhat forced or whatever to do it. But seeing the backlash from the fans, seeing Chelsea fans coming out and making a stand is so amazing and so beautiful. Seeing football fans in general making a stand is beautiful to see. But it's a shame that it takes something like this to bring us all together. But when it's like Anita was saying, when it's something like racism or sexism in football, no one really cares.
What's it, Terry? Can I make a comment on this racism thing?
Yeah.
I was just going to say, like, I know we all things have just happened and everyone's on there. I'm on my high horse and we're going to fight everything together. My question is everyone having the same energy in the next 3 months, the next 6 months? Because deep down, whether people want to admit it or not, whether you want to be as woke as you want, people don't actually care about things like racism. They really don't. They do care about their football team because it's their whole life and they'll go in, week out. People actually do not care about racism. They really don't. And another thing with racism is that when you have people with differing opinions, it will cause a massive split. Now, the Super League, 99% of people are like, this is wrong. No one's going to be wanting a Super League. So it was very easy for everyone to come together and be like, it's fine. We'll just protest. When it's racism, though, you'll have some people on one side saying, well, I don't think this was racist. You have some people saying, I don't think kneeling is an appropriate thing to do, like Wilfried Zaha. You have the whole league doing something, and you have one really influential person saying, I don't think this is right. Happens in the NBA, happens in the NFL. People have differing opinions. So it's not as simple as let's all band together and stop racism. It really isn't, because people have to really look deep down in themselves and say, do I really care about racism? Do I really care about Islamophobia? Do I really care about sexism? And ultimately, the answer is no. The sad truth of it is that as humans, the answer is no. So,
David, can I say something on that? I think I'd like to change what you said to not enough people, because I know I can speak for everybody in our group, because we all feel the same about it, right? In terms of what we can do about it, we can put more pressure on UEFA to be stricter on it. That's one small thing that we could do. I don't think a 10-game ban for one player is enough. I don't think that's enough. We should be putting more pressure on UEFA to stamp that out. That's one small step we can make in terms of racism in football. One small step.
Because if you're willing to ban players for playing in the Super League from international football and domestic competitions, you can ban players from that for being racist.
Yeah,
it's flipping not hard.
Exactly. And listen, that Gary Neville speech about the Super League was wonderful. And I know Sky Sports do speak about racism in football quite a lot, but it certainly doesn't feel as emotional as it did when Gary Neville was speaking about the Super League, right? It certainly didn't feel as powerful when Gary Neville is basically saying to everyone, you can make a change, get out now, write to your MPs and protest and get out there. You need the same energy for everything, for sexism, for racism in football. And David is sadly right. Not enough people care about it. And people now will bang the drum and say, it's got to change, it's got to change, it's got to change. But when it happens, it will be a media hype for 5 minutes.
Realistically, we've been kneeling for months. Kneeling for months. But has anything realistically changed? No. It hasn't.
Guys, you wait for that Prague play in the Europa League. You wait for that Prague play in the Europa League.
If you took the kneeling out of the game, it wouldn't change. And you know what the mad thing is about Slavia Prague? I'm going to come out as controversial here. I don't think they do deserve to be banned, because one bad person doesn't paint everyone with the same brush. Every single company in the world has racist people in it, regardless of it.
But what happens in those situations? David. What happens in those situations when that one company has that one bad person? They get rid of them. They sack them. They do not back it. They came out and
with a campaign. They had a campaign.
They had a campaign. That's disgraceful.
I'm telling you, them as an organization, because they've been put in a tough position. Because again,
sack the player.
It's not that simple. It really isn't.
But just very quickly, because I do need to come to the end of the stream soon, because I do. The interesting thing is, within 5 minutes of debating racism, you're just agreeing on what's right, what's wrong. That's back to David's point. That's what makes it very hard for some people to stand up. It's sort of like 1 minute, if you do this, oh, well done you, more power to you. Some people are like, no, we don't want white knights helping here, or we don't want this. It's almost this element of, I think what makes a situation like this easier for some people, not all, for some people, is there was just universal agreement on this particular subject and everybody knew what they had to do. Just listening to you all sit there and talk. I'm with Harry and I'm with KJ on this debate personally. I feel more needs to be done, more needs to be stood up. But then at the same time, you'll then have dozens of people jumping in saying, well, I don't think it is this, or no, this is acceptable, this isn't acceptable. I've heard like 2 people from the same denomination and debate what is and isn't something, and they've both got different opinions. I sit there watching thinking, I don't know what to think now. I can think what I think, but I don't know what is right. So I think it is a very difficult situation to have. In some interesting news, or brighten the mood again, Conor McGregor has tweeted saying, "Hi guys, I'm thinking of buying Manchester United. What do you think?"
No.
Just put the money up and don't be involved. Just don't be involved. Just put the money up.
Hang on. What I would say again, Conor McGregor is. Well, let me say this about fighters. When fighters retire, they tend to calm down a bit. You got to remember what they're selling. They're selling a fight. Conor McGregor is a businessman. I wouldn't argue, mate. It was like 6 years ago. The geezer was living in a bedsit with no money, broke. And now he's not. Listen, everyone that's tuned in, thank you very, 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 very much indeed. Really appreciate it. There's a super chat here that says, by the way, Terry and Co. Derek, I can't pronounce the guy's surname. That was today. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see what happens with it, and you'll see the fallout of that. There'll be 1,000,001 different opinions, and it's so difficult to watch at times. But we need to watch it because we need to fight these things. We need to try. We all need to try and fight to make these things better. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. But you saw there within 5 minutes of David, KJ, and Harry and Indiana talking, I heard about 5 or 6 nuances and disagreements in different areas, and you expand that across 60 million people in this country alone, and it causes a lot of controversy and a lot of problems. It really does. But we do need to have the conversation. Shying away from them is certainly not the thing that you need to do. Listen, everyone that's tuned in today, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. We're live after Chelsea Brighton. Do you know why? Because the games matter again.
Oh, the games matter. Let's go.
That's the big thing. The games matter again. Chelsea need to win. We've got Kepa in goal. Go on to Brighton. I'm supporting Brighton on this one anyway. But I'll see you all after the game, everyone. Until then, take care. Goodbye.